people may say. Okay, so tonight I just finished the artwork. Actually, we were supposed to do the artwork. It was freezing so much outside that we stopped very early. I think we stopped at 6:30 or something like that, 6:30 p.m. And David even didn't come because I told him, don't come, it's impossible to play. You can't play violin in the cold like that. So he didn't come, and Ron and I, we went to dinner on York Boulevard. I will show you all the images on my video about the artwork. And of course, what we talked about, we talked about music, of course. So it was a fun night. Anyway, I came back home now. And I want to talk about what? About music, of course, again, about music, and of course about Tok Tok. So I want to talk about this album. I have the box too. It's The Party's Over. It's the first album. People don't often talk about this one because, actually, I don't know why. I don't know why, because yes, it was their first album. They didn't reach the point they wanted to reach by doing this, but they had to go through this to arrive to the Marcolis solo album, or even to arrive to Spirit of Eden, or to arrive to Laughingstock, or even to arrive to The Color of Spring. It had to start here. Because if you listen well to this album, there are treasures in here. So of course the arrangements are very 80s. We can hear the keyboard. I think, I'm not a specialist, but I think that I recognize the sound of the DX7. I must say it in English because in French we say DX7, but DX7, I suppose it's used in this. I think that I recognize sounds of this keyboard. But so it's very typical of the 80s. But if you ignore the arrangement, the melodies are still there. The lyrics are still there, the voice is still there, and the instruments are rather well played. So we must consider this album because it's a really good one. I have so much to say about that I think that one video won't be enough, because I would like to detail every song, or almost. There is one song that I can say that I don't like, because I like it, okay, but not as much as the other ones. It's Another Word. I call this song the German song because every time I see it in live, it's in Germany. So I thought, okay, that is the song for the German audience, obviously. And it's true that it's something which could please the German people, well, at least the idea I have of the German people. Anyway, I was not very excited about this song, and then I discovered on the CD that actually it's Paul Webb who wrote it. So I'm not saying that Paul Webb doesn't know how to write a song, because actually it's not a bad song, it's just not in my taste, but it's a good song because it worked really well. It's a hit, so he knows how to write a song. It's just that I think that my taste is more, and my cat agree with me, is more towards what Marcolis is composing. That's what I suppose. And I understood then why I liked less this song. My cat wants absolutely to participate to that. Anyway, I want to talk of many songs in this album, but I can't do it just on one video because the video is going to last forever. But I will just say one thing before I go to the song that I want to talk about tonight. I will just talk about the song. Just once again, have you heard the news? I will come back to it more in detail, but you must absolutely listen to this song. Have you heard the news? This song is absolutely incredible. It's the lyrics are like a story that Marcolis is telling you, and it's so well described that you can see the scene just in front of you. It's like a film, but it's also like you know, the comics book, like a drawing, and you see the action. I see the action like if it was a film, but when I see the images, I see them like a comics, like not a cartoon, yes, a comics in the comics book. And the lyrics are incredibly well written. I see so many images on that it will be a painting for me for sure, because the images are so strong. So I just have to paint. I don't even have to think. Everything is there. And listen to it. You will see how much this song is hypnotic. When you start listening to it, you can't stop. It's exactly in the same direction as After the Flood, which is on Laughingstock. I think that it has been built with this kind of intention to hypnotize us. That's my opinion. Well, okay. What I want to talk about tonight, I will start from the end. Candy. So Candy, the title may look very mellow, very romantic, and like languorous and kind of cutesy, maybe even not in the good way of cutesy, you know. It's a song which is really very slow, something to dance like a couple, you know, slow, and it's very glamorous and very, I would say, sexy. I don't know if it's a good word, hot. Um, but when you listen to the song more deeply, you will realize that it's not so mellow, it's not so glamorous, it's not cutesy at all. The melody is amazing, the lyrics are amazing. And the other day, I thought about this song because the other day, for the Small Business Saturday, Ron played it. I didn't ask for it. Ron had the idea to play it. And I was listening to this song and I thought, it's one of the most beautiful songs I ever heard. It's so, so beautiful. And then the next days, I had it in my mind during several days. And I came back to the first album and I listened to it, the whole album. And I thought, I must talk about this album because it's always forgotten and I don't know why. I really don't know why. Because it's an excellent album. It's a wonderful album. And I think that in this album, you could, with a little imagination, already guess what was going to happen next. And we know what happened next. And you know it was good from the very beginning. So, Tim Fries-Green was not on this one. Tim Fries-Green wrote a lot to Talk Talk, but even without Tim Fries-Green, and on the Marcolis solo album there is no Tim Fries-Green either, and the quality is there too. So with Tim Fries-Green it was great, really great, but without Tim Fries-Green it's rather good too, so good for us. Anyway, I'm going to play Candy. I'm sorry if I have to sing on it. I'm not supposed to play it for royalties concern, but if I sing on it, it's a little different because it's kind of if I recreate something, you know. And anyway, I want to point out some details on the song. I'm looking at my boombox right now. So I will show you some details of the song which are especially good, what I like the most in the song, and you will understand why I love it so much. And I don't want my video to be too long, so let's do it now. I almost forgot to tell you something very important before I start singing. Something that Hollis said. I found that on Snow in Berlin. It's a website on internet. You can go. There are a lot of articles, interviews made all along the career of Talk Talk and Hollis, and you will find a lot of stuff there, and it's where I found that. So Hollis said, at the period when he was doing this, he said, I want to write stuff that you'll be able to listen to in 10 years' time. He said that in 1982, still think of as a good song then. So you imagine in 1982, he was already thinking of composing stuff that we would listen to at least 10 years later. We are more than 30 years later, much more than 30 years later, and we are still listening to that and still talking about that. He managed to do what he wanted to do. So there is also a journalist who said something about this album. He said, it is catchy and instant, but not without a darker side, a gothic, almost celestial majesty. I like this definition because I'm feeling something like that, and I think it's a good way to see the album. Not automatically the gothic part, but something, some celestial majesty for sure. Yes, he's right, the journalist who said that. Another thing which is rather important, it's Hollis saying about the band. The whole thing about this band not having any guitarist is to get the melodies across with more force. You've got a rhythm section to provide the beat and keyboards to provide the melody, which they can do much better than a guitar. In a way, the lineup is closer to a jazz quartet than a rock band. It allows us to put more emphasis on our songs. A lot of the stuff around at the moment relies too heavily on the arrangements and the production rather than the song. But those aren't songs, they are just arrangements with a couple of trimmings. I like bands like Police who just keep it simple, a good song, rhythm section with the melody coming from the vocals. So I wanted to tell you that because I made a while ago a video called something like Melody versus Arrangement. It's exactly what I was saying, and I read another interview where he was talking about that. In the 80s, the musicians, the composer, had a tendency to make arrangements and not melodies. And for example, my ex-husband was doing arrangements, you know, chords, playing like a mood. And then he was asking me to create lyrics with the melody on the arrangements. That's actually how Portishead is doing. So it's a way of doing, but I think that the best melodies, the best songs, come from a strong melody from the very beginning. You write a melody, you find a melody. That is the most difficult to do. Writing a melody from scratch is the most difficult thing to do when you compose a song. it's the most difficult thing to do, but it's also the most rewarding thing to do, because usually when you search for a good melody and you find it from the very beginning, then the arrangements, everything, the lyrics, everything you do around is easy. You have made the most difficult from the very beginning. And that is what I like with Hollis, is that he starts from the most difficult, and that's probably why the quality is there. You may find very good song just by starting from arrangements. It happened, but it's more rare, I would say. It's more rare. Also, you see that he was already talking about, in a way, the lineup to closer to a jazz quartet. So you imagine, in 1982, he was already in this idea of going there. So that's why I say that this album is absolutely related to what we heard at the end, by hoping it's not the end. Anyway, I will start, so wish me luck. I'm going to try not to make an imitation of Dolly Parton when I'm singing. I will do my best. I can't guarantee anything. Okay, let's do it. I need the lyrics. I don't know the lyrics by heart, not everything. I'm sorry about that. But the lyrics are rather complicated, you know. The intro is already beautiful. This sure is some kind of party. It's so useful. Surrounds my life with excuses for what I choose to lose. And my name doesn't look the same to me now. No, not me now. I just stop when you listen to that. And my name doesn't look the same to me now. No, not me now. So you imagine, it's like the phonetic which participates to the melody, to the sound of the song. It's exactly what he was saying in another interview, when he was saying that the voice is absolutely treated like an instrument on a song. And that is the proof, because the lyrics, we can't say that grammatically it's incredible, it's a book of philosophy and what he's saying is very deep. No, he's really treating the lyrics exactly like a musical instrument, because I'm going to do it again. And my name doesn't look the same to me now. No, not me now. I find that fabulous. Anyway, we continue. And inside, don't you know I feel so bad? Yeah. When I try to turn away, to feel new again, my emotion cost me pain. Did I look the same? When I think about the times. So listen to the nuances in the melody. It's not always a repetition. Sometimes it's going straight, sometimes it's going up. Pay attention to all the nuances in the melodies. You will see. Laughed away. The idea you cheat me, but look again, what you say, that's my name. and you are going to listen to what follows. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to try to do it. Not easy because lyrics are very hard. And I hope that I've kept you amused to wipe that spit right off my boots. And when I'm home and thinking in the dark, you know, it makes me almost think of a kind of Spanish melody. There is something a little Spanish in it. I don't know if I'm the only one to hear it like that, but tell me if you have the same feeling as I have about this specific part. I would be curious to know. And I hope that I've kept you amused to wipe that spit right off my boots. And when I'm home and thinking in the dark, I hope that none of this has had to go too far. Okay, I'm going to stop the song just 1 minute because I want to go back to the lyrics. And I hope that I've kept you amused to wipe that spit right off my boots. I don't know if you hear the lyrics, but I think that there is nothing really romantic in this. I kept you amused to wipe that spit right off my boots. It's kind of rather violent. The lyrics are... they are not mellow at all, you know. And when I'm home and thinking in the dark, so then you see the strong and kind of a little aggressive way, and then just after, and when I'm home and thinking in the dark, so he's alone in the dark and he's thinking and he's sad, and there is kind of a contrast between he's angry and just after he's sad, a change of mood like that. I hope, so again he plays on the word, I hope that none of this has had to go too far. It's so, wow, when I read the lyrics, I was stunned. Really, I was stunned by the quality of the lyrics in this song. I think we don't pay attention enough to the quality, the work made on this song. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Anyway, we are going to continue. When it gets too late to see me any other way, and it gets so hard to hold on to everything that I want so bad, yeah. I try not to scream too loud. When I try to turn away to feel new again, my emotion caused me pain. Did I look the same? Do you notice that he speaks a lot about emotion, about pain? It's a very sad song, actually. It's nothing mellow. Yes, it's about love. It's about unhappy love, obviously. But it's already very... I don't know. There is a kind of violence in this song, but the violence is right away stopped by something more calm, more sad, something sadder, I would say. When I think about the times that I laughed away, you know, the idea you cheat me, but look again what you say. That's my name. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And listen to the end. I see. I can hear like an opening here. It's not, the opening is not in the song, but I can really hear it. You know, I think it's a very it's a beautiful, beautiful song. I don't know how to put the light. Yes, okay, like, oh, okay, so no more light. It's a beautiful song which needs to be read in the same time, because if you listen to it just like that, you don't pay attention to the lyrics. But I wanted to sing on it, so I took the lyrics and I read the lyrics, and suddenly I realized the quality. Okay, so I'm going to stop for now on this album because I don't want to annoy you with that. I'm sorry for the lack of light, but my bulb was kind of overwhelmed by the song as well. I'm sorry, you don't see the painting I'm working on at the back. It's because I put a color and I'm not completely satisfied with the color. It's a color that I found on a picture that I have that I will show you later, and I wanted to stick to the picture, but actually the color of the picture doesn't fit really well with my painting, so I'm considering doing another coat with another color. And I don't want you to be bored with my painting and see all the mess in the meantime. I prefer to show you when I'm more advanced on it and when I'm satisfied with what I did, of course. I just wanted, the last thing, I'm going to show you something. These are vinyl albums, old ones, that I had when I was a child. So Mott the Hoople, I suppose you know what it is. The album is Rock and Roll Queen. I had that when I was, I don't know, it was maybe in, what's the year? This one is printed in France, made in and printed in France. Uh, I think that I had it sometimes at the very end of the 60s, I think. Or maybe the beginning of the 70s. Maybe it was 72, 73. I would say 72. I must check the year on the record. Anyway, I'm showing you this because that was an album on which I was painting a lot when I was a child. So it was kind of the premises of what I'm doing now. I was already starting working like that when I was a child. And this one, it was chiefly grapefruit. Um, the song Deep Water was completely psychedelic and was making me paint and draw on it in the psychedelic style. So these are, it was the same year, at least I was listening to them on the same year. I really loved the Rock and Roll Queen. It's the name of the album, but it's also the name of the first song. I really like this song, but I like the whole album. And Ron played them during my artwork, not my artwork, during my Small Business Saturday, and I think he played that before. I like this band. It's an English band too. Anyway, I'm in love with English music, obviously, more than American music. It seems so. I didn't realize that before, but since I'm here, I realized that I'm chiefly listening to English music more than American music. I would say, except for the Doors, of course, and except for the Red Hot Chili Peppers that I used to like a lot a while ago, and I like also the Foo Fighters, but usually my kind of music is more English than American. Anyway, I will stop here because anyway my video is too long as usually. I'm sorry about that, and I will continue on this album after the next weeks. I don't know exactly when, but I will continue because there is much to discover in it. And if you have it, oh, just one thing also, if you have the opportunity to find this album, it's July. So this one, it was not during my childhood. It was, I bought it, I think it was in 2004 or 5, but it's an album from 1968, and it was, I think, an import from Japan that I found in Paris. Actually, I was not going to buy this album. I went to the FNAC, and I was going to buy something else, and I arrived in the store and I was hearing that, and I said, I want what I'm hearing. And usually there is a place where they put the record which is played, and the guy told me it's that, and I bought it, and actually I forgot what I was supposed to buy when I went in the store, and I'm very glad that I did because I absolutely love this album. The name of the band is July by July. So the name of the album is July by the band July, more exactly. And I think it was made in 1968, in July, actually. I think that's why they called the album July. So I recommend it. It's very rock psychedelic music. So if you don't like rock psychedelic music, don't buy it. Anyway, I recommend to. And that's it for today. I see you very soon in my next one. Bye bye.